A very warm welcome to you, and thank you so much for joining our Homeopathy 24/7 podcast. We are going to be speaking to an array of international guests who will share their knowledge and experiences of homeopathy with you. We will discuss all types of subjects such as remedies, symptoms, and stories of health. No matter where you are with your homeopathic journey, we aim to inspire you on your quest to natural health and living. The podcast is brought to you by Mary Greensmith, the founder of Homeopathy 24/7, which is a global platform connecting you with a homeopath wherever you are in the world, 24 hours a day. So let's get started with today's chat. Please welcome Mary Greensmith.
Hello, welcome. Thank you so much for joining me. It's so lovely to have you join us. And I'm really pleased to be able to welcome Mary Cosmas. Mary, thank you for joining me today.
Thank you, Mary, for giving me this opportunity. Thank you.
Mary, you're a homeopath. You're based in London. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yes, I'm based in London in East Sussex, and homeopathy has been part of my life. I've seen my parents, they are homeopaths, and I have been treating my children with homeopathy, and I've seen how it has changed their life too. And in my workplace, even with my friends, I do teach them homeopathy, and some of them, they have got remedies of homeopathy. So I love homeopathy.
It's in every aspect of your life. I just can't imagine how wonderful it must have been to have been brought up with homeopathy. You are so lucky. I'm still trying to convince my family, but there we go. Mary, let's talk about something that comes up all of the time, anxiousness. Can homeopathy help with anxiousness?
Definitely. But like the mainstream of medicine, we don't take just one aspect. So we take it as a broader aspect. So if someone is anxious, we understand that it is mainly it's about a possible danger, not like a stress where it's our response to a threat, but this is possible threat. So it's not actually happening, but we are thinking of a fear or something that's going to happen, and we are becoming quite anxious. So in homeopathy, we look at the picture as what is causing that, and we dwell deep into the causation than just look into just anxiety and then give a remedy.
Okay, it's really interesting, isn't it? Because we know that a lot of people are getting anxious responses from everything around, for whatever's happening. And of course, we're not going to be able to change the world. We're not going to be able to change what's happening around us, either in the world or in our family or the drama that happens. So what we're actually talking about then is finding out how to make us a little bit stronger, a little bit more resilient, a little bit less reactive, maybe.
Yes, definitely. Because anxiety is such a deep-seated problem for some of them because it has been going on for a while. So it has been in layers, as we say in homeopathy. So when it can be acute flare-up or it can be just underlying cause they have got this persistent fear in them. So definitely we can help through homeopathy. And as we know, there are more than 300 remedies if we look into repertory for just anxiety. And for anticipation, we have got more than 200 remedies based on that. So we hone down based on the indications and come to a remedy.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit about the process of doing that, because how do we get from 300 or 500 remedies potentially down to one remedy? So obviously we know that when people are anxious or stressed or overwhelmed or whatever emotion, they might have physical symptoms and they might have emotional symptoms acutely and chronically as well. So let's start with acute. Let's start with something's happening just now. What are we looking for? How do we go through those symptoms?
So when we look at the present symptoms, we ask for what is their symptom currently, And then we look at the location, sensation, what they are feeling. And when it is better or worse, like we take any acute case and then look into the remedy and give into it. Like any physical symptoms, because it has got the emotional aspect, we ask them about what has changed from what they are feeling right now. We take the mental aspect and then we look into the remedy. What do
Okay,
you
so if somebody, let's say, is having palpitations and they've gone hot and sweaty, then we can look up and see which remedies come up with palpitations and feeling hot and sweaty, and we might hone down to 30 remedies. So then what you're saying is we're then going to consider what's going to make you better or worse, and then we'll have a look to see which remedies come up. It might say you're better when you're inside, or you're better if you're outside in the fresh air, for instance. So then we look at those and we match and we see which remedy has all of those aspects in order to narrow the field. Okay, so by keep on doing this, we're going to need at least 5 or 6 symptoms, aren't we, to be able to get down to 2 or 3 remedies.
Yes.
And once we've done that, we know that we might be able to find a remedy that helps us just feel much calmer right now.
Yes.
But then long term, what if it happens again tomorrow? What if it happens next week? What if it happens next month? What if it's been happening for the last 5 years? What can homeopathy do about that?
So we take a detailed history. So for the acute symptom, we give that remedy. So that might open up loads of other symptoms, and we might be able to see a larger picture. And we take a detailed history, like from the childhood, a chronological events of symptoms, like what happened, what were any trauma there, any grief, and we take it and then come up to a remedy. So like a chronic consultation, it takes 90 minutes. Like we say, it might take even more than that, because we look into the details and come up to the remedy. And we follow that up so it's important that they follow up every six 6 weeks or 8 weeks, so that we look at what has been changed. So someone who hasn't been sleeping well because of their anxiety, if they have slept through the night, that means the remedy has done its magic. But still, we have loads of work to do in it. So then we just follow it up and see the anxiety. The person might still be feeling anxious, but still they are able to sleep through the night. So that is a starting point. So we just treat as it goes, I would say, and then we go deeper and deeper.
Okay, so basically what we're saying is the anxiety that we feel today, now, has built up from loads and loads of other things happening over the last 30, 40, 50 maybe years. And we have to just go back piece by piece in order to address the original cause of the problem.
Yes. Yes.
And so in that case, then what we're saying is we can actually change history. We can go back and change your body's reaction to something perhaps that happened quite a few years ago.
Yes, definitely, because it has been proved, and also now there's loads of research going on. When we give a remedy, it is acting at an energetic level, and also our whole body is all energy, full of energy. So the neurotransmitter, there's a change that actually happens. So as homeopaths, as we know, people come and tell us that the person has completely transformed, which is lovely to hear. They are not the person that they were. So that's how homeopathy works, but it's not one day or fit all, one remedy fit all fix,
No.
I would say. So we would just look, so it's very unique. So each individual, so I might be having the same symptoms. I'm not sleeping due to anxiety, but 10 people might not be sleeping that, but it's not one remedy. It might be 10 different remedies for all of us.
Okay, you're absolutely right. If we look up sleeping, I think there are 16 pages of remedies.
Yes.
So a huge number of remedies. So it's really interesting to be considering, isn't it, that we all experience it in a different way. It affects our body very differently. It affects what we can do, what we can't do, what we find difficult. It affects whether it drains us of energy. It makes everything overwhelming. Some people obviously get really irritable and angry. And so we've got a different reaction. Therefore, it makes sense that there are different remedies for that. But the fact that actually we're going through this process of unlayering, unpeeling the layers and going back and finding, well, how you react emotionally and physically to everything in life and how you've done that through your years. But also the process of being asked questions is often part of the puzzle, isn't it? Because people haven't thought about linking that to that and joining the dots up. And the whole process of thinking about yourself and how you react is very healing in itself.
Yes. Yes, it is. Like they say, it's all psychosomatic disorders we see nowadays, that people suffer from headaches, but when we hone into things and find out, actually they are anxious about something underneath. Or
Yeah.
if they're having some issues with the gut, we look into things and see that but they are upset with something, that they are not eating right, or they are upset and eating at that time when they are really upset. So things like that, and we see loads of migraines, and the underlying cause is just their anxiety, and we treat that and it's healed.
Yeah, yeah, you're absolutely right. Because, of course, things like grief come into it, don't they? Things
Yeah.
like fear of abandonment when you were a child,
Yeah.
things like, embarrassment, fear of being embarrassed can be a huge stress for people for years and years and years afterwards.
Yes.
And also that aspect of doing the right thing. I must do the right thing. I must be seen. I must try and do and please everybody. That pleasing aspect itself can be so stressful, can't it?
Yes, I remember a child that I was looking into the case, and when I delved into it, the basics. So he's almost 12 years, but when he was 5 years old, when he was giving a speech or something he said that it was a family gathering and was told off when, oh, shouldn't be doing that.
Yeah.
And they put off the child, and that stuck so deeply, but the parents didn't believe. So he would shun off from all the things that were social. They would
Yes.
just say, I'm not interested. But that would be so subtle that the parents don't see, but it would have affected in a tremendous way on the child. And
Yeah.
we all have that coping mechanism which we have developed from childhood, because we were told not to do that, don't do that, or it's embarrassing, or like you said. And we take that to different stages where we say, what if I get embarrassed? What would I get told of? So we put that as layers, and that creates loads of anxiety. So in that case, that child's case, when that was treated and that was talked through, that solved and remedies were given according to that. So that is really a huge aspect, I would say.
And it's so lovely, isn't it, that we can give something to a child who doesn't really, it tastes okay, it's okay to take, it's easy,
Yeah.
and it has quite often a profound effect on confidence. Um,
Yes.
and as we said right at the beginning, they just feel stronger. They
Yes.
just feel more resilient to the world.
Yes. Yes.
And I often explain to people that, with children, it's my job to help them just feel more comfortable in the world in which they live. But we have got some amazing remedies, haven't we, that help give confidence, that help reduce overwhelm, that help you just be able to cope with life and not be so highly strung, so reactive to everything that's happening.
Yes. Yes, Mary.
Let's talk about a few of the different remedies and the different things that we find in them, because obviously, there are 500 plus. So let's just talk about a few of the ones that we know so well, and the pictures that they hold. Let's start with Ignatia, because that's just such a dramatic remedy, isn't it?
Yes. So Ignatia, like we learned, there's loads of grief and trauma in it. So the recent case that I got, which was acute, but then we looked into it and there was grief. So everything the patient was saying that they are feeling quite anxious, but there was loss 4 to 5 years ago. Their loss of their loved one. Since then, that started on. So
Okay.
just they took Ignatia 2, 3 doses, and that changed. So that's how it would work if it is so intense, if the grief has been there and trauma. So it works if there is great trauma, similar to carcinosin, if there is intense trauma and grief that you have been through.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And of course, another remedy to bring up for grief would be Mure, and that's quite different to Ignatia, isn't it? Because that person might kind of withdraw or form a
Yes.
wall around them because they've been so hurt inside that they've put up an armor.
Yes. Yes, and they don't speak about their emotions. They are very reserved, and if they have to cry, they cry alone.
Yes.
Yes, and Ignitia is they express themselves. They cry and laugh. So there is that change in
So
Ignitia.
often it takes us a little while to find the Mure person, doesn't it? Because
Yes,
they have got this exterior that is quite different from their interior, from what they're feeling.
yes,
And of course that's very different again from Pulsatilla, which Pulsatilla cries very easily, doesn't it? Uh,
yes,
and they can be really fearful of some things.
yes, and very changeable moods. They change very quickly. Yes,
Yes, yes, and perhaps lack of confidence of being on their own and fear of being left.
yes,
Perhaps that child that doesn't want to go off to nursery, doesn't want to be separated from mum, and that in itself, we often have to go back and address that even years later, like you did with your 12-year-old. Um,
yes,
because this, if it hasn't been addressed, then those symptoms continue and develop into something else. And it's not until we go back and give that remedy that would have helped at that time that obviously clears the path from the years going on from there.
yes, definitely, Mary. Yes,
It's just such a big subject, isn't it? One of my favorite remedies is Baryta Carb, because we see so many children who cannot cope with the loud noises in this world, or really afraid to communicate with people outside the home, usually fine inside the house, but very, very shy when out in public or going to school. And we see amazing changes with Baryta Carb.
yes.
And as you said, just giving that confidence, just giving people strength.
Yes, that's true. That's true, Mary.
Let's talk about some anxieties for events, for going on an aeroplane, flying, something like that.
Yes, so anticipatory anxiety. So they just anticipate, or they have to give a speech or presentation, they have to fly, or they have to see new friends or something. So they have that anxiety. So we have got gelsemium, we have got arginate for that, which will help. But still, there are loads of remedies. These are not just two remedies, but there are around 30 remedies just for that aspect. Then we look into the personality of that person. So what they have been through, what are they feeling actually? So
Mhm.
do they sleep well? What their personality? Then we give a remedy based on that.
Okay, that's yeah, because it's much deeper than just that surface fear, isn't it?
Yeah.
So we've got remedies for the surface fear, but if we can go deeper, it might be a different remedy. And let's face it, we all get anxious about certain things. And I was reading through some of the posts that people were putting in the Ask a Homeopath group earlier, and I thought actually the reason they're posting this is because it's creating anxiety, looking after other people, being responsible and not knowing what to do. We see a lot, don't we?
Yes. Yes. And we have got remedies also based on that. Those who feel responsible and are quite anxious. Yes, like Calcarb, Cocculus, we have got remedies, but still there are 20 other remedies which have got the same feelings, and we need to dig a bit deeper. Although we might, that's why in Ask a Homeopath, although they want remedies instantly or suggestions, we ask too many questions. So what is that? What is that? We go question after question because we want to know
Yeah, we want to
and
help.
suggest help. Yes, that's right.
Yeah, yeah, because obviously we want to encourage people to learn as much as they can about how to find the right remedy. We're not all going to know everything about every remedy, are we? Every time we look at a remedy, we see something else that we didn't notice before because that wasn't on our radar. So nobody's going to know everything about the remedies. We must always look them up. But what we need to know is what to look up in the first place.
Yes.
And of course, with so many remedies, it can get very confusing and complex. So let's just say a few words about how we do it, about the repertory and about the Materia Medica, because I think it's really important that we just come back to basics and we just explain what a repertory is.
Yes, so a repertory, I can just show this one. So we have got this Robin Murphy's repertory, which is huge, and we have got loads of repertory. So repertory is just uh, it is divided into the different body parts, and then it gives remedies based on different symptoms. So if, for example, I take, like we are discussing, mind. So if I take mind and go to chapter, say, anger, there are loads of remedies, so almost like 300 more of remedies. So when you go to anger, so agitation, so what is it leading? Why is it caused? Why is agitation caused? So is it due to frustration, or is something has happened? So we look into whether it's evening, morning. So it's a huge one. So we need to know what exactly we are looking into. And Materia, so you have got a remedy. For example, all your symptoms match. So it's daytime and you're better by crying or something. You've got a remedy. And then, for example, you've got Pulsatilla. So you go into the details. So Materia Medica is a picture of the remedy. So you go to the Materia Medica and you find what are the different. So in Materia Medica, as we all put when we suggest in Ask a Homeopath, we put Borki's Materia Medica, or we could put Clark's Materia Medica. You just go in there and look into the different symptoms. That's also based on our different body parts. So head, so do you headache? How is it? So if I take a Materia Medica here, so Robin Murphy's Medica that we have got. So for example, if you take clinical aspect of mind, so after mind there is abdomen, back, bowel, breast, chest, constitution. So it goes as the body parts. So different body parts. So you come up, you will find that if it doesn't match, then doesn't matter. You go again to the repertory, put your symptoms back again, and then come to a remedy again. Then you refer Materia Medica to see whether it's matching. That's how we come to a remedy.
So let's just go back and just go through that. What you're saying is when you look up a remedy, it gives emotional symptoms and all the physical symptoms. So it'll go through mind rubrics and it will go through every aspect, so all of those body parts, and a remedy. So a remedy might be good for a headache and it might also be good for a rash. The same
Yes.
remedy.
Yes.
Okay. So, and this then actually leads us to the whole aspect of why homeopathy is so difficult to classify in the same way as mainstream medicine, isn't it? Because
Yeah.
it's not one remedy for one symptom. It's one remedy could do 100 symptoms. It is all about how you are and how your body experiences life, and it's matching your energy to that remedy. or
Exactly. And
to your
yes, and also how your body heals. And for some, it will be quicker. For some, it'll take time. So you need to give that time to your body for it to heal, I would say.
That's a really good point, because actually homeopathy doesn't heal, does it? It's not doing the job. All it's doing is acting as a catalyst to
Yes.
guide your own self-healing system. So it's going at the speed of your own self-healing.
Yes.
And we know that when you're healthy, you do self-heal. You know that when you cut your finger heals. You know that when you break a bone, your bone heals. We know that our body can heal, but sometimes it just gets stuck.
Yes.
And homeopathy helps you get unstuck, perhaps.
Yes. Definitely, Mary.
It's just what I love about talking about homeopathy is we start off on one subject and then we just go round in circles, don't we? Because it brings up so much. It's such a huge topic. But it's been lovely just talking with you about how the process works. So thank you so much for coming to talk to me.
My pleasure, Mary.
Thank you so much, Mary, for coming today and talking to us about homeopathy for anxiety and finding out how it can just make us so much more comfortable in this world. Next week, I'm going to be talking to Anna Bihari, and we're going to be talking about pans and pandas and can homeopathy help? I look forward to seeing you. Take care. I do hope you've enjoyed these episodes, and I do hope you can subscribe to our channels. Now, there are various ways for you to listen to our podcast or watch it on video on YouTube. So whether it's iTunes, Spotify, or YouTube, please do subscribe and please do leave us a review. If you leave us a review on these platforms, then more people will see our podcast. We just want more people to share the joy of homeopathy. It's a choice that everybody should know about. Please do everything you can to help us help more people.
We hope you enjoyed today's episode and look forward to listening to our next one. Please don't forget to follow our podcast on your chosen channel, and please do leave us a review so we can continue to share homeopathy with as many people as possible. If you do have any questions, please do reach out to us on any of our social platforms mentioned in the show notes. We at Homeopathy 24/7 hope to empower you on your natural health journey.